Hi, my name is Jason Palmer and I'm an English teacher from Toronto, Canada. Today we're going to talk about nosy questions, that is, questions that are personal in nature, and how you can answer them correctly. Sometimes people might ask you really personal questions that make you feel uncomfortable or you simply don't want to answer. Today we're going to look at 6 of those common personal questions and how you can give a good answer without maybe offending someone or revealing too much information. The first question we're going to look at here is the question, how much money do you make? Now, it's not a common question that people would ask you, but sometimes people do. And you might not feel comfortable telling someone the answer to this question. So a good way to answer this question is to say something like, I do quite well, thank you. Or I only really discuss financial business with my spouse. It's a kind of way you can avoid this question just by telling them that you maybe have a policy where you don't talk about this to other people, or simply that you're happy with whatever money you make and the number doesn't matter. The second question that someone might ask you, perhaps they're interested in the new house that you bought. They might ask you, how much did you pay for that house? Now, for some people, this question isn't really personal, but for a lot of people, they don't like to give this information. So in this case, what you could say is, well, I paid the going market value in my neighborhood. Or they might even ask you what that is, and you can give a range. You can tell them how much exactly houses in your neighborhood typically cost. But again, it's a good way. You don't have to tell them what how much your house cost exactly. Another common personal question you might be asked, and this is a common question if you spend time with your family or relatives and maybe you're in your late 20s or your early 30s and you are single, they might ask you, why are you still single? Or are you still single? For many people, they don't mind this question, but again, this could be a question that might make you feel uncomfortable. And a good answer would be to simply say, I'm happy, thank you. Or I'm happy with my situation. I'm enjoying this time of my life. Because sometimes maybe people just like to be single and that's a good lifestyle for them. And this question kind of assumes that there's a problem with that. So it's good to let people know that you're happy with your life and your situation. Okay, the next question we're going to talk about is a question about your weight. Sometimes maybe you've changed your diet or your lifestyle and you've lost a few pounds, or you've gained a few pounds. Maybe it was the Christmas holidays. People might notice this and they might ask you a question like, have you gained weight? You look a little bit heavy these days. Or they might try to give you a compliment. They might say, have you lost weight? Meaning that they think that this would make you feel good. But again, this might be good for you, or you might feel that this is a bit too personal. So you might just want to tell them that I feel great, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling well. You don't want to give too much information about why your physical appearance has changed. So letting people know that you're happy with whatever your physical situation is a good way to answer this question. If you don't want to share details about why your physical appearance has changed. The next question people might ask, if you are a newlywed. If you are a newlywed, meaning you have gotten married recently, you might be asked, when do you plan to start a family? Now, for a lot of people, that might be a fair question and they might enjoy sharing this information. But for some people, this might be too personal and you don't want to talk about this because maybe you don't want to feel any pressure. So you could answer this question by simply stating, well, we already consider ourselves a family. We have no plans, or something along those lines. There's no reason for you to feel that you need to answer a question like that. Okay, another question that you might get, especially if you are a pregnant woman, is, when is your baby due? Now, this question means, when do you expect your baby to be born? For many pregnant women, maybe this question is okay or normal, but some might feel that this is a sensitive question and that you don't want to answer. So this can be very difficult because you don't want to be rude to the person asking the question, but you could simply say that I don't feel comfortable answering that question. Or you could just answer by giving a very vague answer. So something like, in a few more months, or it will happen when the time comes. Something like that would be a suitable question or suitable answer for a question like that. So those are 6 common personal questions that you might have, or nosy questions that you might have, where you might not feel comfortable answering the question. There are many personal questions that someone could ask you, so it is good to know some common answers to questions like this. One thing you could say is, you could say, I'm sorry, but it's none of your business. You could say something like, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable answering that question, or that's a touchy question. I don't feel comfortable with that. You could also say, I don't want to touch that one. I don't want to touch that one. That means I don't want to answer that question because the answer is too personal. Or if you want to be even more direct, you could say, why would you ask such a rude question? That could be too direct depending on the situation, but it's best to be clear with your communication. Well, those are some good answers to awkward or nosy or personal questions that you might get. So be sure to remember those. And be sure to subscribe to our channel with the link below. That's it for today. See you next time.